Releasing pain is probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do. It's kind of like the young horse, the baby, that goes over and picks up a plastic bag in its mouth and clenches down and moves, and the bag moves. And then all of a sudden the horse is scared of the bag. And the more the horse is scared, the more the horse's teeth crunch down on the bag. Running. And can't let go because it's in that flight mode. I've been in that flight mode my whole life. I have never, ever truly felt happy. I look back at my life and I've never truly felt happy. No matter what. After my big win made TV and $15,000 and 2 saddles and all that, after I collected everything and I walked out, I was depressed again and sad. I have never felt good enough for anything or anyone, let alone myself. And I've hid it from everybody with a big fat smile and confidence. But the pain I feel every day, deep inside, is beyond anything that you can imagine. Or maybe you can. Maybe you can imagine. You don't realize you do it. It's so ingrained. 50 years of thinking this way, feeling this way. It's hard just to turn it off and say, I'm gonna be happy for the rest of my life. If you've never been happy, how do you know what it feels like to be truly happy? I mean, really. Never feeling good enough for anybody, no matter how good I was. No matter what I did, what I won, what I achieved, and I achieved a lot. Everything I set my mind on, I achieved, because that's just who I was. And before I even achieved it, I was looking for the next thing I had to achieve and never could enjoy it when I did achieve it. And all I could think about when I walked out of that arena is I was sick to my stomach for the next race, because if I didn't win it, then I didn't look like I was a good trainer. And that's just too much pressure to put on a person. And then so I manifested selling my horse before the next maturity so I didn't have to compete on her again. Because I didn't want to fail in front of anybody. Because I failed so much inside of me. I don't want to fail in front of anybody. The shame that I feel every day, that I put myself through on a daily basis, is enough. I don't need anybody else's thoughts and judgment and bitterness. That when they see me walk in beautiful and a smile and elegant and looking nice, that they're jealous for some reason, right? If you only knew what I had to deal with on a personal daily basis, you wouldn't want to be me. You wouldn't want to be me. You couldn't handle it. Or maybe you can. Maybe you feel like this too. Unmasking autism is really hard. When you've been high masking your whole life, you don't even know who you are. You're everybody that's around you. You're not even yourself. You're everybody that's around you. Never being able to be by yourself and figure out who you were. Because you always feel like you have to be somebody around everybody, no matter who it is. I'm tired. I mean, I'm like really tired. I'm so tired that it hurts to think. And I'm an overthinker, and every time I have a thought, it hurts. I'm so tired. How do you let go? And not give up, whatever. Let go, let go, let go. When you've been trying to control everything your whole life just so you can get a taste of a happiness sometime or somewhere. But it's never created any happiness. So why would it change? Nobody ever seen me cry. Ever. Not even as a child. Shattered my ankle, crawled on a dirt gravel road, rode a 3-wheeler up to my house. Never shed a tear. Everybody thought I was joking. I have carried my pain so deep and so pushed down that when you're trying to unmask all these feelings that you've been suppressing for 50 years, sometimes it just comes out like a floodgate, you know? And it comes out in ways that you don't like because it's not you. All I want to do is just be happy. I've spent 50 years being unhappy. I want to taste happiness before I die. And it's probably surprising because to the world, I look like the strongest, happiest person out there. It's called unmasking. And when you're used to doing that every day around people, you just don't know how to act anymore. It's all in a mindset, and I know this. I know it, and I know it, and I know it, and it frustrates me so much because I know it. But there are times that it's just like that. Yeah, those old things come up, and I don't know why they come up. I guess for you to examine and look at. That way you can see. The circle that you've been going in. And realize that unless you do something different, that you ain't getting out of that circle. And it's up to you to get out of the circle. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Trust me, I've looked for somebody to help me out of that circle for 50 years. Hoping that something, an animal, a saddle, or something is going to pull me out and make me happy. And it never does. Never does. Never does. I mean, honestly, I think we all just want to be like little kids. Feel that youthful zest. Play, laugh, have no cares. That young mind that everything that they need is always there, and they have no worries, and they can just be or do whatever they want. I think that's really truly all that we're looking for, right? Is that freedom to just be little kids. But then when you're an adult or a professional, you know, you have to be serious. Because if you're not serious, you will not be taken seriously. And if you want to build a career or build your name, you got to be serious. I'm tired of being serious. I'm tired of being strict. I'm tired of following the rules. I'm tired of working so hard. Every day, I work on myself. Every day, every day, every day, to try to better myself, better myself, better myself. Because I never feel worthy. I never feel good enough, so I always feel like I gotta do more. And that just leads to more exhaustion. More fatigue. It wears your body down. Oh, it wears your body down. Your body does not like stress. Stress is the fight or flight. Which is what we're being programmed by the media, fight or flight. That's why the news is always so horrible, to keep you in that fight or flight and keep inflation rising and keep this rising and groceries rising and all these other things to put you in a fight or flight. To keep you in that fight or flight, because it creates sickness and stress and all these things that they make money on. I mean, look at the back of an Apple phone, for criminy sakes. An Apple phone has a bite out of it, just like the temptation of Adam and Eve, the temptation apple. And we're always so glued to our phones, trying to get that little dopamine hit, to at least give us something to get us to the next dopamine hit, to get us to the next dopamine hit, just to keep some kind of feel good. It's not until we break away from it all that our nervous system gets enough rest to be able to get out of that fight or flight. And when we focus on what's around us instead of what is coming in the future, what's going on in other countries and other states and other across the world, and everybody else's, you know, famine and wars and everything else, it keeps you in that sad state of mind of wondering what's going to happen next in fear. And then what do? You just manifest more of what they are wanting you to manifest just by watching the news. Just by reading the newspaper or watching the stuff on social media. Listening to the debates. I mean, it's overwhelming. I went 5 years, 6 years without a TV. And now I'm watching the news all the time. Where I'm staying. I'm not watching it, it's just usually on. And it's so depressing. There's nothing you can do about it. You feel so helpless. You feel so helpless and hopeless, and when you already feel like you're on that fight and flight, it just sends your whole nervous system down the toilet. I can't blame that on any of my life before there was cell phones. But at least I was more in the here and now. And out in nature. Nowadays they keep you so scared that nobody wants to even go outside anymore, or meet people, or have relationships, or anything, because if they can keep you separated, they can keep you in more pain, and more pain creates more sickness and disease, which creates more money. It's like a vicious circle that we're in. And when it's around you all over, programming you with 5G towers and phones and Wi-Fi's everywhere and power lines, and it's overwhelming for our energy. Overwhelming for our energy. And when you can't escape it, it can really do harm. Life is what you make it. And if you make it hard, it's going to be hard. And when you work so hard, even harder, to make it look perfect, that's just too much to ask for a person. When you think life's hard and you make it hard, then you try to make it look perfect. That's a house that's going to come tumbling down sometime. And when it does, it's usually going to cause a disaster. Life is actually really easy. Manifesting is easy. It's all so easy. But we make it so hard because the things around us are creating pain. And when you create pain, then you create pain in your life, when truly it's just super easy. Life is what you make it.